Hare Krishna. सत्यानंद चिंत सत्येक पक्षे सर्वाध्यक्षे भक्ति रक्षादिदक्षे श्री गोविंदे विश्वसर्गाधिकंदे पूर्णानंदे नित्यमास्तां मतिर्मे अज्ञान निरधिरुपैति यया विशेषं भक्ति परावभजति परिपोषमुच्चैः तत्त्वं परं स्फुरति दुर्गमं मप्यजश्रं सत्पुण्यभृत्स्वरचितं प्रणमामि गीतम् गौरां सुख सत्कुमद प्रमोदि स्वाभीक्यया गोस्तमो निहंत श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य सुधा निधर्मे मनोदितिष्ठन् स्वरतिं करोतु प्राचीन वाच सुविचार्य सोहम अज्ञोपि गीतामृतलेशलिप्सुः यतः प्रभोरेव मदेत तत्र शन्तक्षमध्वं शरणागतस्य सर्वोपनिषदो गावः दोक्ता गोपानन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः भोक्ता दुक्तं गीतामृतं महत् मूकं करोति वाचालं फंगुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति विकास स्वामी नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे अंतः प्रविश्य मां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीव्यत्यग्रशक्तिधरस्वदाम्ना अन्यातहस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादि प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं पान्पस्मान् पुरुहूतवैरिबलमन्मातङ्गमाद्यद्घटा कुम्भोच्चात् विपाटनादिकपटु प्रत्येकवज्राहिताः श्रीमत्कण्ठीरवास्य प्रदसुनकरा धारिधारातिदूरप्रत्वस्तत्त्वान्तशान्तप्रज्ञमनसा भाविता भूरिभागैः Hare Krishna, welcome you all for this Gita Sastri course on the 11th day. Today we will be looking at the chapter number 8, which is called Taraka Brahma Yoga or Aksara Brahma Yoga, attaining the Supreme. So, yesterday we were looking at the 7th chapter. In that, Krishna was speaking about his Yadatmya, his glories, his greatness. Because to develop bhakti, we need to understand the greatness of that person. So in order to understand the greatness, Krishna was describing about his two important energies, that is Prakriti and also Jiva. And Krishna also established himself as the supreme person of Godhead. And why these Jivatmas are not able to understand or realize or worship the Supreme Lord. So there are 4 kinds of people who doesn't worship the Lord and 4 kinds of devotees, they approach him. And in that, the Jnanis are considered as the highest. And after mentioning these 4 kinds of devotees, so there are some other devotees also who are devotees of demigods. So what about them? They're not actually devotees because they're not nitya yuktaha and they are always looking for some results and their devotion is not permanent. So in this way, the demigod worshippers, they are antavanta phalam tesham midbhat alpamedasham devan devayajo yanti madbhakta yanti mamabi. Again, Krishna concluded with his worship that those who worship demigods, they attain the results from demigods, whatever small result, cheap result they will attain. But those who worship me, they will attain me. So after saying this, then Krishna gave a brief introduction about how a person can worship Krishna, what are the qualities. Then he said about that one who has given up the sinful activities, one who has done punya karma. So he has concluded who can do devotion service to Krishna. And after saying that, then Krishna spoke about one more person who worships Krishna also. Who are they? Those who are desiring for liberation. Jara marana mokshaya mama ashriti yatanti te brahma tadvitu krishnam adhyatmam karma chakilam sadi bhutadi devam mam sadi yukchate vidu prayana kale pichamam te vidu yukta chetasaha. So I have mentioned you there are 4 kinds of devotees who worship me, that chadapida bhajante jana sukriti arjuna. So these are the 4 kinds of devotees who worship me and attain me. But there is a one kind of devotee who also worships me, but with the aim of gaining liberation. They are called mumukshus, or those who desire liberation from this samsara. So those kind of devotees, how they worship me and how they attain me, that is what explained in the last part of the 7th chapter. So by means of knowing these 7 things, these devotees, they attain me, those who desire liberation. When Arjuna was hearing about this very carefully, then Arjuna immediately put a question. What are these 7 things that you have just mentioned? That Kim Tad Brahma, Kim Adhyatmam, Kim Karma, Purushottama. What is Brahma? What is Adhyatma? What is Adiyagya? What is Adibhuta? What is Karma? What is Prayana Kale? So, what is Adidaiva? So, all these things Arjuna heard for the first time, and he was inquisitive to know about this. This is a quality of a good student, that there are some students who think, okay, whatever we understood, that's more than enough. And there are some students who doesn't understand anything, but they don't care also. Okay, anyway, we heard something that is punya, it's okay. And there are some people who want to understand, but they're afraid, they don't ask questions. And even if you ask questions, there are some teachers who doesn't teach you very nicely also. They always make an angry face. Why do you ask such a kind of questions? You just hear. So Arjuna is not like that, and Krishna is also not like that. So Arjuna has put a proper question, and Krishna is going to answer for this question. So that's why Arjuna, and that's why Krishna spoke such a kind of words, because Arjuna will ask questions. If you every time give spoon feeding, then people won't listen to you properly. So when you confuse them a little bit, then they will ask, "Oh, what is this? I don't understand." Then you can explain to them. So that's why Shastras, they don't explain everything directly. They always explain indirectly. They hide things. If you see Upanishad, they don't explain immediately about Lord. They beat around bush, they go indirectly. They make you to ask questions. They produce inclination inside you. It creates inquisitiveness inside you. So that's why the Shastra itself starts with Atado Brahma Jigyasa. Have inquisitiveness to ask questions about Lord, about Brahman, about spiritual things. Brahma Jigyasa, you should have this inquisitiveness, that inclination should be there. And you have this inclination and you have this fire to know something, then you will understand. Otherwise, even if we speak hundreds of things, if you don't have inclinations, you will not know, unless you don't have desire. So Krishna spoke in such a way, it developed some desire, some inclination inside Arjuna. So Arjuna is asking question. This is how we have the 8th chapter. So this 8th chapter, what is the Sangraha Shloka for this 8th chapter by Yamunacharya? Aishwarya Akshara Yatatnya Bhagavat Charana Artinam Vedyopadeya Bhavanam Ashtame Bheda Uchyate. So in this 8th chapter, these three kind of things are spoken very well. This is what in Gita Sangraha Yamunacharya says. So he says, there are 3 kinds of people who approach Lord. Here Ramanujacharya, he gives slightly variant explanation that 3 kinds of devotees they approach him. One is Aishwaryarti, one who is after wealth, and there is one person who is called Kaivalyarti, the person who wants liberation, and also Bhagavat Labharti. Bhagavan Labharti means one who is desiring for Lord's service. So all these 5 people can come under these 3 categories. That is Kaivalyarti, Bhagavan Labharti, and Aishwaryarti. So here Krishna is speaking about these 3 kinds of people, and this what how these 3 kind of people are approaching the Lord and how they attain the Lord. So this is what the whole subject matter of this 8th chapter. This is what Ramanujacharya Parampara Yamunacharya says. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Baladev Vidyabhushan, he says in this 8th chapter, Krishna answers Arjuna's 7 questions, and also he speaks about 2 different paths of bhakti. So in bhakti there are 2 paths. One is Yoga Mishra Bhakti, and the other one is Ananya Bhakti, that is pure devotion service. So Krishna is speaking about this 2 devotion service in this 8th chapter. So yes, those who star liberation, those who star free from samsara, then they have to know these 7 important things. That's what Krishna said in the last chapter. So what is it? What is a Brahman? So this 8th chapter starts with this question. Arjuna vacha kim tad brahma kim adhyatmam kim karma purushottama adibhutam cha kim proktam adidaivam kim uchyate adi yagyam katam kotra dehesmin madhusudana prayana kale cha katam nyeyo siniyatatmabihi. These are the questions. So he is asking kim tad brahma, Krishna, that you have mentioned. Brahma. What is that Brahman? Kim tat Brahma? Kim adhyatmam? What is that adhyatma? Here Brahma means, is it Paramatma or Jivatma? And what is adhyatma? Adhyatma means, what does it superintends this body, adhyatma, and what is karma? Here karma means whether it is an ordinary karma that we do day to day in our day-to-day life, ordinary actions, or these are the prescribed duties in the Vedas. What is that karma that you have mentioned? And what is adibhuta? Adibhuta means, what does it rules this bhuta? Bhuta means here living entity, that thing which controls this living entity. What is it? Adibhuta and adidhaiva. Adidhaiva means, what is that deva which controls all the other demigods or all the devas? So is it demigods or is it universal form which I have to meditate? And adiyagya. Adiyagya means who is the presiding deity of the sacrifice? Is it demigods or is it you? Because usually when we see the yajnas are meant for certain demigods. So here the yajnas are meant for certain demigods or is it for you? Because usually Vedas, they declare that demigods are the different bodily parts of the Supreme Lord. So the demigods represent different bodily parts, different parts of the Supreme Lord. So whenever you want to thank a person, for example, somebody has done some good thing to you, they have given you some money. So you want to say thanks to that person. So where do you thank that person? You don't go to the hand or you don't go to the finger and you say, okay, finger, thank you very much. No, they are just parts. The person who is inside, he is using his hands to give you something. Similarly, the demigods are all considered as the bodily parts of the Supreme Lord. So demigods, they grant some boons, they give us some results, they give us some things, not because the demigods have power, because Lord is granting. So that's why the demigods can give. So if you want to thank someone, you don't thank demigods, but you thank the person who is the whole, that is Supreme Person of Godhead. So here he's asking, who is that Adi Yajna? Who is that person who is above all the Yajna, who is presiding over the Yajna? Hey Madhusudana, here Krishna, here Arjuna is addressing Krishna, hey Madhusudana. Hey Madhusudana means one who has killed the demon called Madhu. So you have killed the demon called Madhu. Now I have this doubt. So you can clearly, you can easily clear this, or you can kill this doubt also very easily. So, and also after that he says, Prayana Kale Chakatam. So you said about something about Prayana Kale at the time of death. So what a person has to understand, or what kind of knowledge a person should have at the time of death. So these are the 7 questions Arjuna has asked in first 2 shlokas, and Krishna is going to answer all these questions in few shlokas. For first six questions, Krishna addresses in 2 shlokas. The 6 questions are answered in just 2 shlokas, and the 7th question, that is Prayana Kala. So for this one question, Krishna extends this full chapter, and the whole chapter is describing about this Prayana Kala. So what Krishna gives answer for these questions that we will see now. So here he says, first question is, what is Brahman? So Krishna explains, Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Aksharam Brahma Paramam Swabhavo Dhyatam Chate Bhuta Bhavo Bhavakarao Visarga Karma Sangitaha Adibhutam Sharo Bhavaha Purushascha Adidhaivatam Adiyagyam Ghato Adiyagyo Hamevatra Dehe Deha Pradambara. So these 2 shlokas answers Arjuna's first 6 questions. What is Brahman? Here Brahma means Aksharam Brahma Paramam. Akshara means that which is not destroyed, or that which is eternal. So here the Brahma which is mentioned here, it is Jivatma. Clearly it is called Jivatma. It is not Paramatma, it is not Supreme Person of Godhead. It refers to Jivatma. That's what Krishna says, Aksharam Brahma Param. Why it is called Akshara? It is indestructible. Atma is not destructible. Atma is not destroyed. Atma is eternal. That's why it's called Akshara, means that which is destroyed. or that can be destroyed. That is called Akshara. And Kshara. And Akshara means that which cannot be destroyed. So here, as a Aupacharika word, like we use Narada Bhagavan, Vyasa Bhagavan. So in the similar way, that doesn't mean they are called Bhagavan. They are used as a Gaurava, as a Upachara, as a matter of respect. So here Krishna also explains that the person should know about Brahman. Brahman means about soul. So this is what we are explaining from the day one. When you want to get liberation, the first thing you should understand about the knowledge about the soul. So Krishna says Brahman means here Atma. And Adhyatma. What is Adhyatma? Adhyatma means impressions. Krishna says Swabhavo Adhyatma Uchate. Here Swabhava is called Adhyatma. What is Swabhava? Swabhava means impressions that we are carrying from time immemorial in various kinds of bodies. So they are called Swabhava Adhyatma. Because of this Swabhava, this Atma is controlled. The Atma is placed in different kinds of body because of these impressions. So that which rules the Atma is called Adhyatma. And what is Karma? Karma means, Krishna gives a very good definition. Here, the creative force which gives rise to bodies is called Karma. Usually karma means actions and karma means the reactions also. We say both are karma. For our actions also we say karma, prescribed duties we say karma, and also whatever reactions that we are getting in this world, that we also say as karma. So our karma becomes our karma. That's what Krishna says, that our creative force which gives rise to body, they're called karma. So karma means here, just to give a brief explanation about karma, that a person is doing some work. What kind of work he is doing? He is doing prescribed work from Shastra. Usually karma means prescribed works in the Shastra. Otherwise, people, they don't do anything which is not prescribed in Shastra. Then it becomes vikarma. Whatever you do which is not in Shastra, then it becomes vikarma, it becomes sinful. We should always do anything, any action which are prescribed in the karma. That's why in Shastra, there are explanations for even brushing your teeth. So how to brush your teeth? Because somebody may say, okay, in Vedas, we don't find the practice for brushing our teeth, so I will give up because it is not in the Vedas. No, Vedas gives us all kinds of action, what we should do. So if you do that, then it's called karma. And if you avoid that, then it becomes vikarma. So when we do some actions according to the Vedas, having faith in that Vedas, then it is called karma. For example, a person does Jyotisha Homa, Jyotishta Homa. That means he performs this yajna with faith to attain heaven. So what happens? This person attains heaven and he enjoys them. And from there, he gets a new body. How he gets a new body? Like a person who has a pot of ghee, he takes it for yajna and he uses the ghee in the yajna. He offers all the ghee in the yajna, and at the end of the yajna, there is some ghee left over in that pot. So you take that ghee as a yajna upaseshana, or the remnant of yajna. That is very purifying. So in a similar way, a person, he does some pious activities, he goes, he enjoys in the heaven, and then he comes back. And whatever karma is left, with that remnant of karma, he takes a new body. So this is called Panchagni Vidya. In Chandogya Upanishad, in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, there is a beautiful description about this Panchagni Vidya. How a person gets a new body by means of his karma. So it is mentioned that there are 5 Agnis are involved in this: faith, and then heaven, and then rain, food, men. So these are the 5 Agnis, or 5 person who is in charge for this yajna. So what happens when we do with faith some work that is prescribed work in the Vedas? Then we are promoted to heaven. And when we are promoted to heaven, then we enjoy there, we live our life in the heaven. Then that heaven, the in charge for heaven, that is moon god. So what he does, the Soma, then he gives this soul to Varuna Deva. Then Varuna, he takes this soul in the form of rain and he gives this soul to Bhudevi, Bhuloka. So the person, the Atma comes to this earth. Then this Bhu gives this soul to the food that is in the form of plants, in the form of grains. Then this soul, by means of eating this grain, the person who eats this grain, he gains this soul inside him. The man gains that soul inside him. So that again, that man, he injects that soul inside a woman's embryo. So in this way, the soul travels from faith till the mother's womb. So in this way, the 5 Agnis are mentioned. So faith is offered in heaven, and heaven is offered, the Soma is offered in Varuna, and Varuna is offered to the earth, and food is offered to man, and man offers the semen to women. So in this way, the karma cycle rotates. So this is how he says that the karma is working in different ways. So the demigods who are in charge for our body, when we die, what they do, they take this soul along with our Swabhava, and they go through all this process. Then they take Jiva to heaven, and from heaven they come across this process and they put in the womb. So this is how the karma works. So this is how Krishna explains about karma, and we'll learn more about karma in the upcoming chapters. And he says, what is Adibhuta? Here Adibhuta means, Krishna says Adibhuta Ksharobhava. Ksharobhava means that which can be destroyed is called Adibhuta. That is this material body. This material body is temporary, so it's called Adibhuta. Here Adibhuta means Adibhutam. Here Adibhuta means Sabda Sparisha Rupa Rasa Gandha is also called Adibhuta, because they are the thing which is ruling this Atma. So they are called Adibhuta. And Adideva. Adideva means universal body of the Lord, or that which rules over the demigods. They are called Adideva. So Deva means here demigods, and who is controlling the demigods is called Adideva. That is Lord. And Adiyagya, Krishna says Adiyagya aham evatra. Adiyagya means that is me only. I am the owner of all the yagya. So if you understand this, how he is the owner of all yagya? Because I am the person who inspires someone to worship, and I am the person who gives result for his worship. So that's why I am called Adi Yagya. Here he says Aham Eva. The word is clearly says Aham Eva. So Krishna, he wants to keep this position of this Adi Yagya. This Adi Yagya is not for any other demigods. It is only for me. I am the person who is giving all the results of the Yagyas. So in this way, Krishna says that the 6 things are explained. So if you understand these 6 things, then the person gets liberation. So what are the 6 things that you can go through again when you read this text? And then Krishna speaks about Antakalecha, at the time of death. Now Krishna is coming to the point. What does it mean, Antakalecha? What a person should think, or what kind of knowledge a person should have at the time of death. Krishna says, Antakalecha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yaprayati samadbhavam yati nasti atra asamshayah. So Antakalecha, at the time of death, if a person has this knowledge, what kind of knowledge? Remembering me, that is the knowledge. You don't have to have various Vedic knowledge. You don't have to memorize so many shlokas. You don't have to chant all the mantras in the Vedas. Just if you can remember me, that is the highest knowledge. If you don't remember Krishna, but you have so much knowledge, that is not knowledge. But if you can remember Krishna without anything, without having any Vedic knowledge, then that is more useful. That's why Krishna says, Antakalecha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. Antakalecha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. He doesn't say at the time of death, you should know this, you should do this, you should be remembering this. No, he says, Mameva, just me. If you can remember me, because death is a crucial point. You don't remember so many things at the point of death, or you remember very important thing at the point of death. That is which you have been doing all your life and to which you are more attached. So you will remember only that thing at the time of death, like Ajamila. Even though he was sinful, he was not following the Shastras, even though he's so much attached with worldly things, but at the time of death, somehow or other, he chanted the name of Narayan. So because he remembered Lord's name at the end of death, he got a chance to get liberation. So that's why Krishna says, what is the most important thing? To remember me at the end of death. That is the exam for all our spiritual life, for all your knowledge that you have cultivated in this your lifetime. So what knowledge we should have at the time of death? Remembrance of my remembrance is the real knowledge. If you can remember me, that is real knowledge. So what will happen? Yaprayadi samad bhavam. He attains my bhava. He attains my bhava means he attains my nature. What is a nature? We know there are 8 different natures that Atma attains when he gets liberation. That is apahata Atma, Vijaraha, Vimruttiho, Vimokshaha, Vijigitsaha, Apipasaha, Satyakamaha, Satyasankalpaha. So these are the natures, these are the qualities that Atma attains at the time of death. So here he says, Madbhavam Ashrataha. Nasti Atra Asamshayaha. Don't have doubt, you will definitely attain me. So this is the very important instruction that we should remember Lord at the time of death. And how that will happen? Yam yam bhavi smaran bhavam tajantante kalevaram tam tamai vedi kaunteya sada tat bhava bhavitaha. In next shloka, Krishna says it is not a rule that only by remembering me you will attain me. If you don't remember me, then definitely you don't attain me. Then where he will go? Those who remember me, they will attain me. But those who don't remember me, where they will go? Then he says, whatever they remember, they will attain that state. Yam yam bhavi smaran bhavam tajantante kalevaram tam tamai vedi kaunteya. Whatever thing they will remember, they will attain that. Like Jada Bharata or Bharata Maharaj. He was remembering about deer, he took birth as deer. Like a person who is always thinking about his business, he will again take birth as a businessman. If a person is thinking about his house, he will take birth in that same house as a cockroach or lizard, whatever. So he has to come down to enjoy the same thing. So whatever you do in your whole life, the same bhava will come at the end of your life. That's why we call somebody as Chitragupta. In Yamaloka, we have someone called Chitragupta. What he is doing, we say usually he is writing down all our papa karma and punya karma. How is it possible? How many notes you will need and how many pages you will need for each person to write Papa Karma and Punya Karma. So what is Chitragupta? Chitra means picture. So what he does, whenever we see in this world, whatever we observe in this world by means of our eyes, nose, ears, tongue and skin. So all these impressions, they go inside and they are formed inside our antakarana like a photograph. By in the mind, everything is stored like a photograph, like a chitra means painting or photo. So in this life itself, we are preparing our next body. So what happens? By means of engaging our senses in this world in various kinds of things. So all these things are stored inside as impressions inside our antakarana, inside our mind. So as soon as this Chitragupta sees us, he already can see what kind of form that we are going to get, because that's what we did our whole life. So he scans our antakarana and he gives a new body. He gives a body, similar body. So someone may say that, yes, I was worshipping Lord my whole life, but at the time of death, I forgot to remember Lord. So what will happen? No, it cannot happen. Because for whole, if you in a whole life, if you are remembering Lord, then how can you forget Lord? A person wakes up for Krishna, he brushes for Krishna, he takes bath Krishna, he wears dress for Krishna, he puts tilaks for Krishna, he studies for Krishna, he does puja for Krishna, he worships Krishna, he cooks for Krishna, he eats for Krishna, he sleeps for Krishna. So whole life he is doing everything for Krishna. So at the time of death, naturally he will think about Krishna. What else he will think about? So that's why even if the whole life he does everything for Krishna, then he won't think anything else. Even if he doesn't remember Krishna, Krishna will remember him. Like in this world, if somebody is doing some nice help for all his family, then all the Sharira Bandhus, all the relatives, they come and see if a person is dying, about to die. Everybody comes, all the relatives, they come and say, oh, such a person, he has helped me a lot. So I should go and see him at the time of death. When he's in a deathbed, everybody comes to see. So even the Sharira Bandhus, they come to see us. What to speak about Atma Bandhu? He's our Atma Bandhu. He will definitely come to see us because he has this gratefulness. Even this people in this world, even the normal people, Karmis, they have gratefulness to see us at the time of death. So what to speak about Lord? That's why in Bhishma Stuti, in Bhishma Parva, it is said that Krishna is meditating on Bhishma Deva. Why? Because Bhishma Deva was meditating on Krishna at the time of death. So Krishna was pulled by Bhishma's meditation. Bhishma was not calling anyone. Bhishma was not sending letter. He was not sending SMS. He was not sending WhatsApp. Krishna, I'm waiting here. Please come to me. No, he was not ever doing. He was just lying down and he was meditating on Krishna. Krishna had a desire to go and see Bhishma. So Krishna was there. He was waiting for him. Sadeva Devo Bhagavan Prasidatam Kalevaram Yavadidam Hinomyaham Prasannaha Saruno Lochana Unnasan Mukam Bhujo Dhyana Patischaturbujaha. And Krishna came and he was waiting to see Bhishma Dev's death, such a glorious death. Krishna had desired to see. So Krishna is always grateful. He's always thinking about us. So that's why it is said that even we may forget Krishna, but Krishna will never forget us. Atastam Riyamanam tu Kashta Padana Sannipam Aham Smarami Bhaktam Nayami Param Gatim. This is the Charma Shloka of Matsya Purana. So in that Charma Shloka, the Lord says, even when my devotee doesn't able to think about me at the time of death, I come personally, give him my remembrance. When I come in front of my devotee, what else he can think? He can think about me only. So he will think about me, he will come back to me. I take him personally. Nayami Parangati. So Krishna says, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mamanusmara Yudhyacha Mayarpita Mano Buddhir Mame Vaishya Sankshayaha. He says, Tasmat. That's why, therefore, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu, all the time, Ma Manusmara Yudhyacha, you always think of me and you fight. How do you think of Krishna and fight? When you are fighting, then you should think about the arrow, you should think about your enemy, you should think what kind of Prati-Astra that you should put to stop your enemies. How can you think about Krishna? Means you can do in two ways. One is by chanting Krishna's name. The second one is when you are fighting for Krishna. When you are doing something for Krishna, that means you are thinking of Krishna only. And whenever you do any work, you can chant Krishna's name always. Always your mouth can vibrate Krishna's name. So that is also a way to think of Krishna always. So that's the whole point of Krishna is saying to Arjuna, please don't forget. In this world, you are remembering so many things. Even the things which you forget, you keep a diary, you keep a notes, you make a notes and you keep everything to remember. So if you have that much, if you give that much importance for this worldly things, why don't you remember me also? In this world, we do that. We store everything, we remember everything, we keep everything in a place to remember, but we forget Krishna. The important thing that we should remember, we forget him. So Krishna says, always remember me. That is the whole idea. Never forget me. That is the whole idea behind the Vedic literature, that always think Krishna and never forget him. So you cannot attain me by your endeavor, but I will help you to attain me. That's what he says, that asangshayaha. Asankhya means don't have a doubt that definitely you will attain me. All this life, we have passed our day or passed our death without thinking about Krishna. That's why we are here. Now it's our time, it's our turn. Now we have got this human form, this satsanga, somehow or other we came in touch with spiritual life. So now we should utilize this human form of life. We should not miss this chance when we are about to die. So here Acharyas, they speak about the glories of names, because in other process, when you are doing something, then Other kinds of devotional service is very impossible to do. But in any kind of your work, you can always chant this name. Nam Namakari Bhaguda Nija Sarva Shakti Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kalaha Etan Trishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrisha Mihajani Nanuravaha. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says this Krishna's name has all the potency. It can be chanted at any time without any rules and regulations, but people they don't do that because of our misfortune. So Krishna here says, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Ma Manusmarit, which always think of me and you fight for me. Means you can either chant my name always, or if you are doing something for me, that is also Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu. Here we are not going to fight like Arjuna. Here Krishna says, Ma Manusmari Yudhyachal. He says fight. So we also have to fight with our senses. We also have to fight to survive in this world, to protect our family. That is also a fight. But in this middle of this fight, if you do it for me, then definitely you will come to me. Mame Vaishyasi Asamshaya, you will definitely come to me only. There is no doubt about, because I will help you. That's what Krishna says in this shloka. And from 8th shloka, Krishna is going to speak about how the Yoga Mishra Bhaktas, they attain me. So like Baladev Vidyabhushan said, there are two kinds of devotees who attain the Lord. That is Shuddha Bhakta and one is Yoga Mishra Bhakta. Those who perform yoga, like we have seen the Krama, right? From 3rd chapter, Karma Yogi, Jnana Yogi, Dhyana Yogi, and then he becomes devotee. So this is Yoga Mishra Bhakta. And there is one more called Ananya Bhakta, who comes directly to Lord's service by means of devotees association. So that is the second path, that is called Ananya Bhaktas. So here Krishna is speaking about this Yoga Mishra Bhakta, how they attain me. So he says that Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Chetasa Ananya Gamina Paramam Purusham Divyam Yati Partanu Chintayan. By constant remembrance leads to remembrance of me at the time of death. So whatever you remember in this world, when you are living your life, that is what you are going to think at the time of death. Like in Bhagavatam, there is a beautiful verse in the Uddhava Gita. It said, Gita Pesha Krita Ruddha Kudhyayam Tam Anusmaran Sambrama Bhaya Yogena Vindate Tat Swarupatam. That grass worm was taken by a bee. What the bee does, it takes this grass worm and it puts inside a hole, it goes away, or food. Now this grass worm, it is thinking about that bee out of fear, out of the fear of death. The grass worm is thinking about that bee, and slowly the grass worm leaves the body and it becomes a bee. So it comes out as a bee. So that's how whatever we think our whole life, that is what we are going to become. So here Krishna says, but Abhyasa Yogena. Here he says Abhyasa means you should practice to remember me. So that when you practice at the time of death, you will naturally remember me. So Abhyasa Yoga means our Sadhana Bhakti. So Sadhana Bhakti helps us to remember Lord always. So Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Chetasa Nanya Gamina Yoga Yuktena Paramam Purusham Divyam Yati Partanu Chintayan. So he attains that Parama Purusha Divya Rupa, Divya Sthana, that is Vaikuntha Loka. Now, how to meditate or remember that Lord? Now the Dhyana Yogi, he meditates or remembers the Lord. How he meditates, what are the qualities that he meditates, and how he remembers the Lord. Then Krishna explains very beautiful qualities about himself. Kavim Puranam Manusasitaram Anoraniya Manusmaredyaha Sarvasya Dataram Achintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasah Paratat Prayana Kale Manasachalena Bhaktya Yukto Yoga Bhalena Chaiva Bhrur Madhye Pranamavesa Samyak Tatap Param Purusham Upaidi Divyam Yadaksharam Veda Vido Vadanti Vishanti Yatyatayo Vitaragaha Idichanto Brahmacharyam Tadanti Tatte Padam Sangrahena Pravakshe. Here Krishna says, these are the qualities Yoga Mishra Bhakta will meditate on me. So what are they? Kavim means he is Sarvagya, he is omniscient, he knows everything. Anusasitaram means he gives very beneficial teachings for this world, like Lord Ramachandra. He gives very beneficial teachings by his charitra, by his character. And Anoraniya, He is so small that he can enter inside the Atma also. That's why he called Anoraniyam. Sarvasya Dhataram. He holds this whole universe within himself. How is it possible to hold the whole universe within him? He's called Achintya Rupa. That's why he's called Achintya Rupa. His Rupa is inconceivable. Don't think about his Rupa is inconceivable. And he says, Aditya Varnam. Aditya Varnam means he's self-revealing. The Lord cannot be understood by means of any other process unless he reveals himself. That's why Upanishad says, Nayamatma pravachanena lapyahana vedayana bhudashrutena yamaivashya vrunate tena labhyas tasyaiva atma vrunate tam swam. That's what Upanishad says. That Lord is not understood by our own endeavor, but it is self-revealing, just like a sun. Sun has to reveal itself. There is no other way to see sun at this night time. You can have millions of torch, but you cannot find sun unless sun decides to rise itself and to show us. Similarly, Lord is called Aditya Varnam. He is self-revealing. No other process will help to know the Lord. And Tamasah Parastat. Tamasah Parastat means that he is beyond this material world or the darkness of this material world. So here, Yoga Bhalena Chaiva, remembering be like this, in between eyebrows, Bruvor Madhye Pranam Aveja Samyak. So by means of bringing the prana in between this Agnya Chakra, that is Agnya Chakra, which is in between these eyebrows. So by fixing our prana in this Agnya Chakra, the person, he will attain me. So Krishna has just said this and he has left. Now Arjuna may have this question, Krishna, I don't understood what you said. I don't understand how a person meditates on you and what is the process of meditating you, how will attain you by means of this yoga abhyasa. Then Krishna explains from shloka 11, 12 and 13. So these three shlokas explains again this yoga mishra bhakta, how he controls his senses, how he brings his prana in between this chakra and he brings his mudanya and he goes to liberation. So this is how at 11, 12 and 13 shloka says, Yataksharam veda vido vananti vishanti yatayo vitaragaha yatichanto brahmacharyam charanti tatte padam sangrahena pravakshe sarvadvarani samyamya manovriti nirutya cha murdhadyatmana pranam astito yoga dharanam omityetaksharam brahma vyaharanma manusmaran yaprayadi tyajandeham sayati paramam gatim. Here he says, he gives a method how a person he attains me. First of all, he withdraws all his senses from sense objects, and then he keeps all the senses in his mind. Then concentrating his mind on me, what he does, he takes his prana from heart to head to Sushumna Nadi, and from this Sushumna Nadi he breaks here and he attains. That's how the Yoga Mishra Bhakta he attains me. That is the whole process which is mentioned. The whole process mentioned already in the Dhyana Yoga itself. So Krishna just summarizes how a person meditates and he attains me. So after saying this, then Krishna goes to Ananya Bhakta. How a devotee will attain me. You don't have to practice all this yoga abhyasa, that sitting straight and closing all your 9 dwaras and trying to pull your senses from sense objects and meditating the mind on the Paramatma characters and struggling to bring your prana to different chakras. No, you don't have to do all this thing. How your devotee attains me, he says, Ananya Cheta Hadanam Yomam Smarati Nityasaha Tasyaham Sulabha Partha Nitya Yuktasya Yoginaha. But those who are Ananya Bhaktas, those who are pure devotees, those who are my devotees, for them I am very easily attainable. Why? Because they are already connected, they are always connected with me. Not like yogis, they have to sit, make some process to make a connection. They are always connected with me. How? By means of Nama Sankirtana. So this Nama Sankirtana, Abhinnatvam Nama Namina, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu declares that this Krishna's name, there is no any difference. Krishna's name and Krishna, there is no any difference. So when you chant Krishna's name, then immediately you are connected. It's not like a yogi that you should follow all the processes and you try to get connected with Krishna. That Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasha Vigraha Nitya Suddha Purnaha abhinatvam namanamina. This same result, what this yogis they attain, like Bhishma Deva. Bhishma Deva in that yoga abhyasa, he attained that Lord. That same kind of position is attained by Ajamila also. So that is how Krishna's mercy is. The Bhishma is those who have this ability to attain the Lord by means of yoga siddhi. The same kind of result is given to Ajamila also. He doesn't have all those qualities, but just by chanting Lord's name, he attained the same quality. That's why the devotion service is very much praised, or the Nama Sankirtana is very much praised in this Kali Yuga. Dhyayan kritehe yajanyagyehi tretayam yadapnoti tadapnoti kalau sankirtya keshavam. That's what Veda Vyasa says, that whatever result that one will get by means of thousands of years dhyana in Satya Yuga, by means of very lavish yajna in Treta Yuga, by means of elaborate worship in Dwapara Yuga, that same kind of result can be attained by a person in this Kali Yuga just by Nama Sankirtana. Because if you give 10 rupees, you will get that kind of object. If you give 100 rupees, you will get that kind of quality. If you give 1000 rupees, you will get 1000 that kind of quality. So one may think, okay, a person who is in the Satya Yuga, by means of meditation, he attains something higher. Now we are in Kali Yuga, so by means of this simple Nama Sankirtana, will attain the lowest process. No, yadapnoti tadapnoti. Whatever a person in the Satya Yuga he has attained by means of very endeavoring, very challenging meditation, that same kind of result can be attained in the Kali Yuga also, just simply by means of Nama Sankirtana. So how? Because of devotees' mercy. So the Lord himself gives this samadhi to a person who is about to die. That's why if you remember Ishopanishad, if you have read Ishopanishad, in the end of Ishopanishad, a devotee he prays Krito Smara Kritam Smara. He prays Krishna, please remember whatever I have done. Whatever I have done, even if I have done some little devotion service, please remember me. Or the Lord himself remembers, okay, this devotee has done this much service to me, so I will help him. So in this way, Krishna always he says Nayami Param Gatim. So think about my devotion service in the previously whatever I have done. So in this way, the devotee also prays, and Krishna also thinks that this person, yes, now he is like a stone, he is like a wood, he cannot think about me in the time of death, but he has done so much for me, so I will remember him, I will come to him, and I will specially deliver from this material world. So that's how Krishna says, those who do Abhyasa Yoga, they are like monkeys catching, the small monkey is catch hold of the mother monkey very strongly and trying to be safe. But those who are like devotees, they're like a kitten. The kitten is sitting in a one place and waiting for mother. So mother comes very beautifully, catches the kitten's neck and it carries away from one place to another place. The similar way, devotees, they don't do any endeavor. They just stay in one place. They do their devotion service, and Lord comes personally to take the devotee. So when he comes to take us, then there is no problem. When we try to go to catch the Lord, then it becomes very difficult. So Krishna just said that for devotees, it is very easy. What is the use of attaining Krishna? What is the use of attaining you? One may ask. So Krishna answers, Mamupetya punarjanma dukkale mashashvatam naptamanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramam gataha. If you attain me, then you don't have to come back to this world. Why I should not come back to this world? This world is not good for living. He says, this world is dukkha alayam ashashvatam. He gives a very good word, very good definition for this world. It is dukkha alayam ashashvatam. This world is full of dukkha, like we have Granthalaya, we have Himalaya, and this is called dukkha alaya. Granthalaya means only like library. Granthalaya means library means only books. Himalaya means only ice. So Himalaya, Granthalaya, full of books. Granthalaya. Here he says dukkha alaya. Dukkha alaya means full of dukkha, full of miseries only. No, we say to Krishna, Krishna, I'm happy. You are saying it, this world is full of misery, but I'm happy sometimes. He says, Ashashvatam, all your happiness are very temporary. So don't come back to this world. Mamupetya punarjanma. If you come back to me, then you don't have to come back to this. Naatnuvanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramam gataha. So here he says, but if you go to any other place, Abrahma Bhavanan Loka Punaravartino Arjuna, Mamupetya Kaunteya Punarjanmana Vidyate, then we may say, okay, Krishna, why I should come to you? I can go to Brahma Loka, I can go to Swarga Loka. What is a big deal? Then Krishna says, even if you go to Brahma Loka, then you have to come back to this world. But once if you come back to me, then you don't have to come back to this world, because you stay in my world. That is very permanent. Then Krishna goes on explaining how this world is temporal, why we should not come back to this world. Then Krishna is going to speak about the lifetime of Brahma. Then even Brahma has to die one day. So what to speak about us who attain Brahmaloka? So we have to die and we have to come back to this world. But if you come back to me, you don't have to come back to this world. So that's how Krishna explains, and he goes on explaining about how the Brahma's lifetime is so long and how this universe is again and again created and destroyed. So Krishna says that Brahma's one day, it's actually 1,000 Chaturyugas. One Chaturyuga means Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali. It's called one Chaturyuga. And like this, when you have 1,000 Chaturyugas, it is equal to Brahma's one day. One day means 12 hours, and Brahma's one night also there. So like this, Brahma's 24 hour means it's like 2,000 Chaturyugas. Now what is one Chaturyuga? What is Satyuga? Satyuga means it is 17 lakh 128,000 years. And then if you go on calculating like this, then we have Treta Yuga, that is 12 lakh 86,000 years. Then Dwapara Yuga, 8 lakh 64,000 years, and Kali Yuga, 4 lakh 32,000 years. This is called one Chaturyuga. Into 1,000, it's called 1,000 Chaturyuga. That is Brahma's one day. So Brahma lives like that for 1 week, for 1 month, for 1 year, or one lifetime. That is 100 years. So if you calculate, if you are good in mathematics, you can calculate. It's not a big thing. So it is something around 311 trillion and 40 billion years. So it is inconceivable for an ant like us. It is inconceivable how Brahma's day is. So this is how the Brahma's day is calculated. And same kind of year for his night also. When this is completed, then Brahma's one day is over. Then Brahma goes to sleep. So in this way, when Brahma goes to sleep, then there is a pralaya. Then there is a pralaya for 3 lokas, that is Bhur, Bhuva, Suva. All these 3 lokas, they go for destruction. There are 4 kinds of pralaya explained. One is Nitya pralaya, second one is Naimitika pralaya, Atyantika pralaya, and Prakrita pralaya. Nitya pralaya means eternally happening pralaya. That is, every day we are in pralaya. Like when a person goes to sleep, this is pralaya. When you are sleeping, nothing in this world is known to you. You are like a dead person, or this whole world is destroyed to you. So it's called Nitya pralaya, or our death. So it's called Nitya pralaya. Every day some pralaya is happening. That is called Nitya pralaya. And there's a Naimitika pralaya. Naimitika pralaya means due to some reason the pralaya happens. That is Brahma's end. When Brahma goes to sleep at the end of his day, it is called Naimitika pralaya. And there is one pralaya called Prakrita pralaya. Prakrita pralaya means at the end of Brahma's life, everything is destroyed. Then Brahma also dies. He goes to liberation if he is a devotee. Then it is called Prakrita pralaya. And 4th is called Atyantika pralaya. Atyantika pralaya means by means of giving up your ignorance, by destroying your ignorance, by attaining the Swarupa of Atma, by understanding about the Lord and your relationship, then you go to liberation. That is called Atyantika pralaya. So these 4 kinds of pralaya is mentioned. So in this way, Brahma's day and night is past, and the pralaya is happening one after another. So you can understand how Lord is waiting for us from time immemorial, but we are also cheating our Lord from time immemorial. This is always happening. So Krishna says, Parastasmat bhavanyo vyakto vyaktat sanatanaha yas sarvesha bhutesu nyastu na vinashyati. So above this material world, there is one more world that is called spiritual world, and that doesn't destroy at any time. Pado osya vishva bhutani tripadashyamrutam divi tripad urdam udait purushaha pado osya bhavat punaha. So this is what Purushottam says, that this whole world is just like a small portion in the Lord's creation. Like Prabhupada always gives an example. This material world is just like a jail. So if you understand whole city, jail is very insignificant part. Jail is nothing in the whole city. So in the similar way, this material world, this whole material creation is nothing. It's very small part in the whole creation. So then Krishna says, Abhyakta Shara ityuktaha tamahu paramam gatam yaprapya nivartante tadhama paramam mama. But Arjuna, if you come back to me, you don't have to come back to this temporary material world. He said that Purushasya parah partha bhaktya labdhastananya yasyastani bhutani yena sarvamidam tatam. But you can attain me only by devotion service. Bhaktya labdhastananya. So ananyaha. By nothing else you can attain me, only by devotion. So already Krishna has said this in the 14th shloka also. Ananya chetahatanam yomam smarati nitya saha tasyaham suloha partha. So Krishna again emphasizes that by devotional service you can attain me very easily. And then Krishna speaks about now two different paths. There are two different paths in this world which are eternal, and one path by means of taking one path, he doesn't come back to this world, and by taking the other path, the person comes back to this world. And there is one more path which Krishna takes you and you don't come back also. There are three paths again, and we are going to speak about. Krishna has already said just one more path that he is going to take you personally. That is different one. And there are two more paths in this world. So those who practice yoga, and by means of yoga abhyasa, they leave their body and they go back, but they don't come back also. And how they attain liberation, what is the path that they go through, and what are the other people, those who are karmis, those who do karma kanda section of Vedas, they also go, but they come back to this material world. So what are the two paths which are mentioned? One path is called Archaradi Marga, and the other path is called Dhumadi Marga. So this Archaradi Marga, one who leaves his body in Archaradi Marga, doesn't come back. One who leaves his body in Dhumadi Marga, he comes back. So what is this Archaradi Marga? Archaradi Marga means it is Sukla Paksha Uttarayana in the daytime. If somebody leaves his body, then he doesn't come back. But if somebody dies in Krishna Paksha Dakshinayana in night time, if he leaves his body, then he has to come back. So when we say like this, then we don't have to even practice devotional service. What's the use of practicing devotional service? If some useless rascal, if he dies in Sukla Paksha, in Uttarayana, in daytime, he will go anyway liberation. But if a pure devotee, I am doing all kinds of devotional service, but somebody dies in Krishna Paksha, in Dakshinayana, in night time, he has to come back. So what's the use of our devotional service? No, it is not the time we should understand. They are demigods. Here the demigods are mentioned. The two paths are mentioning about demigods. So what happens when somebody dies doing all kinds of this yoga abhyasa? What happens? He is led by 12 demigods. 12 demigods are carrying him towards liberation. Who are they? Archi. First demigod is called Archi. Archi means light. So this light demigod Archi, he takes this Atma and he gives to Dina. Then Dina, that demigod, he gives to Sukla Paksha. Then the Sukla Paksha demigod, he takes this Atma, he gives to Uttarayana demigod. Then this Uttarayana Devata, he takes this Atma, he gives to Sarat. Sarat means different seasons. That is Samvatsara we call. Then this Sarat, he gives to Marut. Marut means again Varuna. Then Marut, he gives to Ravi. Then Ravi gives to Vidyut. Ravi means here sun. Then sun gives to Vidyut. Then Vidyut gives to Varuna. Varuna gives to Indra. Indra gives to Brahma. Then he stays in Brahmaloka until Brahma's lifetime. When Brahma goes to liberation, this person also goes to liberation. So this is how this Archaradi Marga is given. And there is one more Marga called Dhumadi Marga. So this Dhumadi Marga means a person who was not meditated on the Lord, who is always working for his sense gratification, his own sense enjoyment. Then when he leaves his body, then the demigod who is in charge called smoke, Dhuma is smoke. So the demigod, he takes him and he gives to Ratri demigod. This Ratri he gives to Krishna Paksha. Then Krishna Paksha again gives to Dakshinayana Devata. So this Dakshinayana gives to Samvatsara. This Samvatsara gives to Pitruloka, and from Pitruloka he goes to heaven. He enjoys there. From heaven he comes back to Varuna, and from Varuna as rain he comes back to this world, and again he takes birth. So this how this Dhumadi Marga, or one who is working for karma phala, then he has to come back to this world. So Krishna mentions these two kinds of marga. These two margas are eternal. That naite srishti partha janan yogi mukhyanti kaschana tasmat sarveshu kaleshu yoga yukto bhava Arjuna. Krishna concludes, Arjuna, these two paths you should know. By means of gaining knowledge about these two paths, the yogi is not bewildered. What does it mean? Even if you go to heaven, you have to come back. By means of performing your karma, even if you perform your karma perfectly, you can go back to heaven. You can go till heaven, but you should come back. But if you do it yoga yukta, if you do it as a karma yoga, not just karma, but as a karma yoga, then you don't have to come back to this world. You attain samadhi. So that's what Krishna says, that by understanding this two path. What does it mean understanding two path? By means of understanding which path leads us to liberation, by means of knowing which path leads us to samsara. If you understand these two paths, then you're not bewildered. Then you will work for yoga yukta. That's why Krishna says, tasmat sarveshu kaleshu yoga yukto bhava Arjuna. That's why at all point of time, you should be a yoga yukta. Always do your yoga. That is karma yoga, not just karma. So don't think about heaven or hell. You will go to hell, you will go to heaven. Arjuna was worrying about too much about he will go to hell. Forget about hell. You will not go to, you don't think about heaven also, Arjuna. Just think about yoga yukta, how to satisfy me. If you can do that, then you don't have to come back to this world, you will attain me. So Krishna has just concluded these two kinds of path, and he says, Vedesu yajnesu tapassu chaiva dhanesu yat punya palam pradishtam atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param sthanam upaidi chadyam. He gives a palashruti also, that by means of these two kinds of gati to be reached, these two paths are eternal to reach me, because this samsara, this world is eternal. So these two roads are always eternal, because this world is eternally situated. So we need to have some road also to attain the Lord. So these two roads are also eternal. They are also situated in this world. But Krishna says that Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva dhaneshu yad punya palam pradishtam. Krishna has just now covered very good knowledge about himself. Now just recollect whatever Krishna has said from the beginning. Krishna has said about his material energy. Krishna has spoke about his jivatma. Krishna has spoke about how the jivatma is covered. Krishna has spoke about his supremacy, and he spoke about how a person is worshipping demigods, and how a person will attain, will worship him, and what kind of person will attain him, with what kind of knowledge he will attain me. So all these things he has spoken in the 7th chapter. In the 8th chapter he has elaborated. So now Krishna is saying, when you understand this knowledge, viditva means just by understanding this knowledge, yogi paramsthana upaijitatyam. Just by understanding this knowledge, you have already done vedesu, yajnesu, tapassu, chaiva, dhanesu, yat punya palam pradishtam. Whatever said in the Vedas, whatever yajnas you have, whatever tapasyas which are mentioned in the Vedas, whatever danas, whatever charity that has to be given, what are the punya that you have to do, everything is already done. You don't have to do everything separately. Just by understanding this knowledge which I have imparted to you in the 7th chapter, in the 8th chapter, just by understanding this knowledge, you will attain all this have to be attained. So what a devotee will do, he doesn't strive, he doesn't endeavor to attain the Lord, but he stays like a bride, like a qualified bride in this world. So qualified bride, she doesn't go search for the groom. She develops all kinds of good qualities. She has beauty, and when she is beautiful with all the good qualities, then the groom comes searching for the bride. In the similar way, a devotee, He is very blissful. He develops all kinds of good qualities. What is a good quality? He has love for Krishna. He is worshipping Krishna all the time. He is thinking about Krishna. He is talking about Krishna. So all his life he is loving Krishna. When he has this good quality, this attractive good quality, where Krishna will go? Krishna will come to us and he will personally take us. So this is called Akshara Brahma Yoga, that is which is mentioned in the 8th chapter. So we should see the connection. In the 7th chapter, Krishna was speaking about something, and in the middle, Arjuna intervened. He was asking some question. So Krishna has to finish that question. He cannot go further. Okay, please stop till the end of lecture. I will answer you in the end of lecture. No, he did not say. Whenever there was an intervention, Krishna answered that question and he went on. So 7th chapter, he was speaking about something else. And in 8th chapter, he spoke about attaining him, how he will attain, how a devotee will attain him. And in 9th chapter, Krishna will again take back, or he will again speak about what he wanted to speak. Maam Shrunu, Maya Asakta Manav Partha, Yogam Yunjan Madashraya, Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yadagnasi Tachrunu. So whatever knowledge that he wanted to impart to Arjuna, so that knowledge he will again continue from the 9th chapter that we'll see tomorrow. So I'll end up here. So if you have any questions or comments, you can ask now. And yesterday we had a quiz program. And if you have any comments or questions also regarding this quiz program, you can ask now. And we have here Arunesh Sinha. So where is Arunesh? Can you open your video just for us? Arunesh, are you here? So this devotee Arunesh Sinha, he has scored high mark in this quiz program. So he came first, we can say, and he stays in Mayapur. Yesterday I spoke with him. He stays in Mayapur. So we should all congratulate him, because you have seen the quiz questions. It was a little tough also, but even it is very happy that he has gathered this knowledge and gathered very good mark. Yes, Arnesh, you want to say something?
No, I just like attending your sessions very much. A lot of things I'm getting to know about Gita through very deep studies. So actually it is my privilege that I'm able to attend your classes.
Thank you. That's your humbleness. That's nice. So yesterday, many devotees they participated, like 50 devotees, around 50 devotees they participated, and many of they got very good scores. I really appreciate all of you. And then in the upcoming days also we'll have quiz programs like this. So we have sent you questions. It's not that we just gave you questions like that. We have sent you questions in advance to prepare yourself. So what you can do, you can gather some devotees group, you can discuss with them what can be the answer. So in this way you can engage them also in reading Bhagavad Gita, try to get the answers. And when you come to the quiz program, then it will be easier for you to attend and give answers. So yes, next quiz program will be after the end of this 12 chapters. So this is the end of this class. If you have any questions regarding today's program, today's chapter, you can ask now. Can you please open quiz question again for us to attend? Okay, we'll do that in the end. In the end of 18 chapters, we'll have one full quiz program for 18 chapters. Okay. We have a question from Kamani.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam. Prabhuji, you said how soul is coming down from grain to the grain, and when we are eating those grain, and then it is transferred to the woman's womb. But when those grains and all those things, when it is offered to Lord, and after that when we are eating, how that is happening? I mean, we have offered to the Lord, and after that we are eating. So the soul, whatever soul is there, it is offered to the Lord, and then we are eating. And then I don't. Can you please give some clarity on that?
Okay. when you offer to the Lord, it purifies. It is not that Lord is killing, Lord is against the birth, or Lord is against progeny. He is not doing that. But when you offer it to Lord, maybe when you can get a good soul also inside your food, then you may get good devotee also as a son. So this is how the demigods they pass the soul. It is not that all the food has, like when you are eating this much food, then there are so many thousands of soul inside. No, the demigods, they guide the soul. Okay, this soul has to enter inside this food, and it has to enter inside this rethas, and through this rethas it will enter the women, and it is otherwise the semen also will not be effective if the demigods are not guiding, it's not directing. Otherwise many times people, they don't get children also, even after having family life, even after mixing of man and women, they don't have family life because demigods are not yet impregnated, or they have not directed the soul to enter inside. So the demigods are directing the soul how to enter inside a particular body. So when you offer it to Lord, maybe Lord will direct a beautiful devotee to take birth from that soul also. That's also possible. I guess I answered this question. I mean, open the same question for the first session for non-artists like me to answer, please. Okay. Okay, if there are no any questions, then we'll end here and we'll meet tomorrow with the 9th chapter. Tomorrow is very important one, that Krishna is going to reveal his heart. So this Bhagavad Gita itself is Krishna's heart, and in that Bhagavad Gita, the middle portion is considered as very guhya, very secret. Why he will reveal these things to anyone? Unless we are very dear to him, Krishna won't reveal his secrets. So Krishna is going to reveal that secret thing which is in his heart. So that's why this 9th chapter is called Raja Guhya Yoga. So tomorrow, very important thing, we'll see.